Today we review the Warm Audio WA-19, a recreation of the AKG D19. The Beatles used this microphone a lot. What more do I need to say? Kind of looks like a really fat Bob Barker mic also, which I like. All right, in the box you get a nice little pouch, some literature, sticker, little clipperoo. It's got some weight to it. I thought it was gonna be really, really light. It's
nice and heavy.
And I like that. And also I was kind of like, black? I want it to be silver or whatever. I want it to look exactly like the Beatles mic. This actually looks pretty sharp. I'm actually very excited about this WA-19 microphone. The reason is because I believe that there is a conspiracy about microphones. I believe there's only two types of microphones, the SM57 and large diaphragm condensers, which all sound exactly the same.
It's not that crazy if you think about it.
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
We already know that the SM57 sounds great on snare, guitars. I've tried everything on snare and guitars, and I always go back to the SM57. And then for everything else, I always use some sort of large diaphragm condenser, and I haven't had a lot of luck in other types of microphones. So I really wanted to try something different. I'm always trying to get a new microphone that will give me a new cool sound, because preamps, in my opinion, don't really change your sound that much, and a lot of us can't afford to buy preamps or our interface won't support it. A microphone is a really quick way to get a new sound. I want to try this on drums, on guitar, different places. We are also going to be using the Warm Audio Centavo guitar pedal on this video, which is a clone of a Klon pedal. Don't forget, I'm giving away one of these pedals. This week, somebody is going to get a clone Klon. You have to be subscribed and you have to comment Warm Audio Centavo to be entered, so you could get one of these pedals if you follow those steps. We will be plugging into this new Tascam Model 2400 interface mixer recorder. It's like a multi-trick pony. It does everything. Check out my review. There'll be a link here or below. I'd like to get some new fresh drum sounds, and I think what I want to try to do is get like a side mic situation, a bottom snare, side snare, and maybe also use an overhead. The bottom snare mic like this, a 58 on top. Got the other WA-19 as an overhead, and I have an RE20 on the kick. I've been screwing around for a while. I really was not happy, so then I changed snares. Instead of this no-name brand, I went to the Superphonic, and it's totally weird. I put on the big fat snare muting thing, and for the first time, I'm like, okay, in this situation, a bottom snare makes it sound so much bigger and fatter. So this is one of the first times in my life where I'm like, yo, bottom snare,
very, very nice.
A big drum sound is good if it's appropriate for like a rock thing or if it's appropriate for your drum set, but all it does is reveal the poor quality of my drums. I want to get some more definition on the hi-hat, so I'm going to move this overhead to the hi-hat. I'm getting excited about this
Funky ass drum beat.
So what I'm doing to these drums is really trying to segregate every little drum and have every drum have its own role. The SM58 was picking up a lot of the hi-hat. It wasn't giving me much crack either from the snare. So really it was just giving me beef from the snare. So if I chopped the highs, then it let the WA-19 take over as the character of the hi-hat. And that's a way cooler, more vintagey character. I'm really hearing the like old school sound. The SM58 got its highs cut. The WA-19 on the hi-hat has its lows cut, so it's just capturing the hi-hat as much as I can. The WA-19 on the bottom of the snare is giving me that crack and those other tones. Oftentimes I just eliminate everything except the kick and the snare and it sounds better. In this instance, with this snare and the setup I have going on, it's like one of the few times where every little mic has its role, has a job, and it's adding up to a sound that's better than just kick and snare. Right now I've got the WA-19 going on classical guitar. This part of the barn is pretty lively, as you can hear. We'll try to take advantage of some of that stuff. I'm not going to use anything on the board, just straight in, no EQ, no nothing. The WA-19, it really needs a cloud lifter or some sort of inline lifter. Strumming guitar, you could probably get away with it. My guitar does not have a lot of projection. As a result of the low output, you need to crank up your preamps and your gain to get enough juice from the microphone, and that creates hiss. But it's still not even as much hiss as you would get on tape. So I decided to just embrace it and record with it because I want you to hear what it sounds like to do a whole song primarily with the WA-19 and what kind of tone it imparts. But you would get definitely a better sound if you had like a nice clean cloud lifter or something. We got the silver Centavo. This one actually sounds better than the gold one. It's a fact. And we got the WA-19 on this vintage Vibrolux Fender amp. There is something special about a first take. I don't know what it is. I don't know who would like this except for me. I don't know, I just like it. If you want to blame anything for that, blame the Centavo pedal, because it just asks you to play soft, rock, liquid, smooth. With a Les Paul, it's like, ugh. It turns out that there are more than just two microphones. WA-19, which does evoke some cool sounds. It does evoke retro sounds. I like the tone. It's got a different tone, and I dig it. Thanks for watching.